Kay, I couldn't wait to have you here. Are you
Yes.
uplifting or are you throwing under the bus?
I know as much as Max is disappointed, I am uplifting
Oh, come
today.
on. Come on. I expected you to
Yeah,
throw under the bus, to come in and wreck a buck.
next time, I
Okay.
promise,
Okay.
I
Hey,
promise.
we're
I have
close to
more
Christmas, so it's
hater.
okay.
Exactly. And as I said, I'm not feeling well this morning. I gotta start off my morning as high as I can. You know what I mean? Starting off as a hater feels like an end of the day activity, you know?
I'm taking notes on this. That's amazing.
I gotta warm up, Max, throughout the
Okay.
day. I gotta
Who are you
find the hater.
uplifting?
I am uplifting Nick Suzuki, as I always am, but specifically, I'm uplifting him, uh, honestly, despite the fact that he didn't make Team Canada. In fact, I would say it's going to be good for him and the Habs.
Oh.
So that's my opening statement, guys. Any thoughts?
Oh. I'm curious to hear how do you think it will be beneficial? Because we often hear for players going on such good teams as, let's say, Team Canada, Team USA, Sweden, Russia are all teams that are really good, that all have good national team. And so often we will say for Nick Suzuki isn't that young anymore, to be honest, but sometimes we will hear for a young player. Personally, I consider that the heyday of Carey Price started at the 2014 Olympics. I felt like that was his coming of age party. And from there, he ran on with it. Unfortunately, the injury happened. But from 2014 to 2016, Carey Price was the best goalie in the world, was maybe at some point, well, actually was at some point the best player in the world, was literally MVP and voted by his peer. So I'm curious, yeah, because I felt like going there could have been good for Nick Suzuki, just on the
hmm
personal level, what he could have brought back to his NHL game.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be a lot madder if this happens for the Olympics. It's the four nations
Yeah,
because this really isn't the best on best, Max. We can talk about the four nations all we want.
I'm with you.
So, you know what I mean? There's a lot there, but specifically with Nick Suzuki, I'm not sure if you saw, but yesterday they, talked to him after practice and asked him for his thoughts. And they asked him if he regretted not going to the World Championships this past year because he was offered and he decided to skip on it. Personally, I think it was the right decision with his Iron Man streak, how much he plays, et cetera, et cetera. Also, he got engaged this summer. He was busy. You know, he had things
Other
going
stuff
on.
to do.
He had other stuff to do. And his answer was like, I think I play against the best players in the world every single night. I get the hardest assignments. I think I've proved myself. Um, and it was less the answer and it was more his demeanor. You guys know how Nick Suzuki has like a very blank faced kind of calm demeanor. He still had that, but there was something about that that still felt really angry.
Yeah,
And like he
I
like
agree.
he emoted, like he had like body language where he like shrugged and like shook his head a little bit. And I was like, oh, he's mad. He is mad for Nick Suzuki. And then we saw it again that last night. He was great last night. So I feel like we're already seeing that this might have potentially been good for him and the Habs.
The only thing, and I'm hearing you, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. For me, when I was thinking about it, I was like, I felt like, as Max said, wouldn't hurt to play with those amazing guys. But for me, the most important thing was a change of atmosphere could have benefited him. And what I mean by that is we know that, the morale of the Montreal Canadiens haven't been like this. They haven't been uplifting. Let's say it like this.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's just good to be in around like a better, attitude or just like a winning environment. And yeah, that was the case for me. It's just like, oh, it could have just brought a breath of like fresh air and just like maybe bringing him another energy for the rest of the season. But I see what you're saying there. I'm like, I'm kind of agreeing. It's just it, but yeah, just especially for him, like, oh, this could have been, just having a great time, reconnecting with having fun playing hockey. I don't know, like if it's much enjoyable by around this time for a lot of Montreal Canadiens players, but I see where you're heading with this.
Kev, how do you feel about it?
Well, it's gonna be related to my point also a little bit after, but I don't think it's a bad thing right now. I think I agree with Kate that maybe for Nick Suzuki, for Canadians this season, actually might be beneficial because you're not putting a magnifying glass on your captain. He can just focus on his club career, as we would say, and then maybe with country in a few years. But for now, I think it's great, and especially if you go to those tournaments and then you get injured. Can you imagine if Nick Suzuki would go to the Four Nations Cup and he gets injured, misses a couple weeks, couple months? No. So right now, it's good. The less amount of Montreal Canadian players can be highlighted during the All-Star break or the Four Nations break will be good because good luck to Sam Otabo. But it's going to be, I think, beneficial for the Canadians. Yes, I think I agree.
Nobody's going to get injured there. It's a glorified All-Star week. You said it. Nobody's going to play their heart out. I'm sorry.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
One or two guys are going to get injured. For sure. Guys get injured sometimes in the
Some
All-Star
freak
game.
accident.
Yeah, freak accident.
Oh, my
the guy
God.
turns, slips, falls to the board, and then he's out for a while. I've seen this movie too often to know this is going to happen.
Can you
Yeah, and
imagine
just
Connor
just the
McDavid
luck.
getting injured?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Oh, my
And,
God.
and it seems like it's just our luck, Like it could have happened. Maybe Kent Hughes was a little relieved when he saw that Nick Suzuki wasn't called up for this tournament.
You know what? That would be for a discussion for another day. But like, I want to be very careful with what I'm about to say. I wish no ill toward any player, no injuries, but just a little something, a little month like long injury to a star, just so that Gary Bettman knows that his dumbass cash grab was a bad idea. Kevin, are you throwing under the bus or are you uplifting? We're in an uplifting mood today.
Exactly. So I had to bring it down to earth a little bit.
Oh, and the Grinch is back. I'm the one wearing the Grinch shirt, and the Mr. Grinch is actually Kevin Laramie. You really are ill.
Yeah, it's a bit easier for me to find things to throw under the bus and to uplift. I guess I'm a true Montreal Canadiens fan in the 2000s. But this has nothing to do with the Canadiens. This has to do with Team Canada. It's a no fun roster. We talked about the roster earlier in the show. They had so many opportunities to make this a fun roster for the future, to bring the young kids eyeballs that will be watching this and make them fans of a certain player, 2 or 3 players, and bring those players into the future. But no, you cannot bring the Macklin Celebrini, who's going to celebrate over the next few years as one of the best players in the league now. You couldn't bring a Connor Bedard to finally make him play with good players after having a terrible season with the Blackhawks. It's not his season that is terrible. It's the entire of his team and his former coach, now Luke Richardson. No, you could not bring those players in. You could not bring the fun and good stories. You had to always bring the same type of players. Oh, it's about grit. Oh, it's about really you need to play in the 2 ways. You need to be able to play defensively properly. This is a no-fun team built by a no-fun hockey association ran by old men with white hair over 70. That's literally what this team represents to me.
Oh, I love it, Kev. I love it. Beautiful it sounds so Canadian. Just looking at, you've said it. You're like, yeah, we've played safe. And if we're looking at the roster and when we're talking about defensive abilities, I'm like, why Nick Suzuki isn't there? Like, I don't see the logic there anymore, but I was with you. I was rooting for Connor Bedard to go there. Like, let the kids have fun. Like, he is not in a fun environment also. So let him be. Let him express his talent and just like have the opportunity to grow with amazing talented players around him. I'm with you on this one. I'm like, anyway, we're not that good on paper, so why not taking a chance on those kids.
Exactly. Trying to
Yeah.
make the highlight reels, with the amazing Connor Bedard goal or Celebrini or no. Except it feels to me not only did they go safe, they chose the team for the pundits in Toronto to make sure they don't have anything to complain about. They chose a team where they just found, Tampa Bay, okay, Judy Brisbois, you're part of our decision-making process. Here's a few players from your team. Here's a few players from there, just to make sure that there's no controversy and they don't have to go out of their way to justify their decision. That's the easy route, as always. They took the easy route.
See, I feel like this is a moment where you really miss the young guns. You know what I mean? That was a little bit from when was that? The whatever tournament that was,
The
that like
World
all the
Cup, the
young
youth,
yes.
North American
Yes.
under 23 with Connor
Yes.
McDavid, Austin
Yes.
Matthews, and yeah.
I think that was fun, but ultimately, I do think Team Canada went with the really traditional decisions. But like you said, I think maybe one of the reasons they did that is because there's already so much high-end offensive talent in that lineup. Between the McDavid and the McKinnon and all those guys, Crosby still has that ability. So that
Yes,
would
he
be my
does.
only that yes, he does. And that every time somebody pretends he doesn't, he shows them. That would be my only kind of thing against
Yeah.
it, I guess, for the idea of building a well-rounded roster. But I'm not sure a tournament this short really needs that well-rounded roster. I think it's about excitement, and I think you can outscore. I think you have to outscore your problems, frankly, looking at, and I love Monty, obviously love him, but Binnington, I'm expecting some full diapers there, but that's neither here nor there. See, Max, I brought my hater.
I have no notes on this discussion. It's a 10 out of 10 for every one of you. I completely agree. We talked about it earlier on the episode, and I fully agree with Kevin's statement. I fully agree with what KU just said. I'm disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. I don't know, Daph, if you want a closing statement on this, but
No, but I
nobody's
was
getting
just
notes from me.
No, but
A plus.
I was just also like Connor Bedard is trying to improve like his defensive skills, so he could have properly been in the bottom six. And as you said, Kay, just bringing some scoring there, which we will need a lot with our goaltending situation.